It's beautiful to see Benson Henderson, man, in a co-main slot, still doing it big, but he is a big underdog, plus 340 underdog against Islam Mamedov. Minus 450 favorite. These Russian fighters, dude, they're so good. These Dagestani fighters, they're so good. Islam Mamedov is such a good fighter. I can't even really describe it. Minus 450 might be downplaying just how the odds should be in this fight. And I told you the other day, AJ, or I told you a couple weeks ago, I guess I should say, that I went to the UFC Fight Pass Invitational #1. This is a grappling event that was held at the UFC Apex out here in Nevada. And Benson Henderson, he was part of that. He did a one-on-one matchup again with Ben Saunders. And if you remember Ben Saunders, I think this dude is like a middleweight, a light heavyweight or something like that. Probably a middleweight. Very tall, very lanky. He's like 6-something feet tall or whatever the case may be. But Benson Henderson, he squeaked out a win in the grappling scene against a Ben Saunders. However, Ben Saunders is kind of an old man these days, brother, so it's not really the same thing as a young killer like Islam Mamedov. This dude is 32 years old. He's on a 19-fight win streak. Listen, man, this dude just rinse, wash, repeat, get in front of you, grab you, take you down, top control, smash your face. This is typical smash style from an Islam Mamedov. Benson Henderson, on the other end of that equation, 2-3 in his last 5, right? You know what I mean? He took one fight at welterweight. He has most of his fights over here at lightweight. But it's just been pretty rough, brother. 3 straight losses to Michael Chandler, Jason Jackson, and Brent Primus, which is not bad fighters. Those are not bad fighters to lose to, but at the end of the day, you don't want to be on that skid and be at the prime age of 38 years old. AJ, what can Benson Henderson do to keep this fight on the feet? Because even though he's a BJJ black belt, even though he has 9 submission wins, the last place you want to be is you're back on the mat with Islam Mamedov on top of you. What can Benson Henderson do to keep this fight standing?
Whew, it's going to be tall waters right there, Derek, to keep this fight standing, man. Mamedov is an absolute killer. But honestly, I think if Benson Henderson can stay busy, hurt Mamedov on the hands, keep those kicks going, but not necessarily throw body kicks, but more throwing those leg kicks, get something that kind of stifles the explosion of the Mamedov, then I think that he'll have a little bit better of a chance, man. But those odds are pretty correct right there. That's if not, like you said, underplaying how dangerous of a fighter Mamedov is in this one, man. And don't get me wrong, Benson Henderson, always dangerous, very methodical, very high fight IQ. So he knows what to do, and he knows that he's going to have to at least not get grabbed. That's the biggest thing. If he can maintain that movement, not get grabbed, not get smashed on, then I think he has a better fight, especially because he needs to win this one. This is a must win for Benson Henderson. Maybe not because they'll cut him, but maybe just because on a 4-fight skid is a little bit rough. But if he can actually not start slow like he usually does, because he's notoriously a very slow starter, if he can start fast, keep those hands fast, kick low, and then get out of the way, get out of dodge, not get grabbed, not get grappled, I think it's his best option for win, or his best route to a win. What do you think, Derek?
You know what, AJ, man? This is a tough one for me because Benson Henderson he has a very kick-heavy offensive game, right? That's some of his best attributes is, throwing those body kicks, throwing a little leg kick or whatever the case may be. I mean, Joe Rogan often attributes Benson Henderson as being the founder of the modern-day calf kick, right? So can you do that stuff against Islam Mamedov? The question is that. And I don't know, it's going to be tough. You don't want to throw kicks against a dude who's looking to wrestle you. We even just saw Cyril Gane versus Ngannou, man. What happens? Gane gets too kick happy with his game. Francis scoops up that leg, slams him on his head. Like, you just don't want to put yourself in that position because this is the issue here. You could take those risks, but it's a calculated risk. And if you take the risk and you prove wrong on your basically, if you take the risk and you mess up, man, and Islam Mamedov ends up on top of you, he could be on top of you for the rest of the round. And that's the problem there. You don't want to end up in that position. You don't want to give away rounds like that. I think Mamedov, he has a very patient stand-up game. He uses a lot of feints to open up these leaping hook attacks, but he's a little predictable on the feet. And I think that's where Benson Henderson could have his most success, because if you can counter Islam Mamedov with something crazy, get him a little bit shook up a little bit, you know what I mean? Throw a couple on the feet, you could really have some success here, man. But the issue lies in if Mamedov can just do the rinse, wash, repeat, stand in front of you, feint, wait till you strike, shoot in for the double, shoot in for the single. He has a nasty single and a double leg right there, but the single is a little more impressive on that one. If you could shoot in for that, take him down, what are we talking about here, man? It's going to be relentless wrestling. And one thing that is interesting, AJ, I wanted your opinion on this real quick. This is more of a technical thing than anything else right here, just when we're talking about grappling. So Habib has often noted that he basically prefers the single leg takedown over the double leg takedown all day, because the double leg takedown could be completed with ultimately just like brute strength, and you know what I mean, it's really just a matter of strength to strength, who can get to the hips first, who can sprawl back, whatever the case may be. But the single leg is more of an off balancing technique to be able to get your opponent down, which I do agree with that. The single is hard to get, but you can definitely off balance your opponent and then set up a trip, set up this off of the single leg. Islam Mamedov has one of the best single legs that I have seen in recent days. And that's, I mean, listen, he's got the same Dagestani approach that all of these other dudes do as well. But what do you think about that just basically thought process that Khabib had? I thought it was an interesting technical tidbit, man. The single leg or the double leg? Do you have a personal preference? Do you like one better than the other? What do you think one's more effective? What do you think?
Man, it's hard because anytime I'm always thinking of just like how I like to get down, man. Anytime someone's shooting that single leg, you're easily able just to chicken leg it and then dip out, turn around, kind of run away. A la like a lot how John Jones gets it done, man. He throws those kicks, they get caught. You just chicken leg, go down, turn around, walk right out, slip out of it. And if you're able to stay balanced, stay bouncing on that one foot, the single leg is a lot harder to get taken down with. But also at the same point, man, when somebody hits a double, they don't get their hands locked, you sprawl out. It's a very easy way to get around it, unless that guy's just gonna absolute brute power you and gets in on those hips. A little more efficient, I guess, is a better way to put it. Honestly, me personally, I'd rather hit that one leg, that single leg, just because most people don't have that balance. You can lift them up; they don't have that flexibility like a Derek Lewis, where they try to lift that leg up and he just goes up with it and keeps bouncing on his one foot. I think the single leg is a little bit more tricky to hit, but once you do, you get people down. So I could see where Habib's talking about, because it is more of a balance thing. Me personally, though, if you're throwing a kick, you get that single leg caught, just go John Jones style, man. Turn that knee down, let it bend, and run away.
Yeah, no, I like your assessment on that. I'm more of a blast double guy myself personally, but I do think that, the more experienced person that you're up against, you have to work those singles, you have to work the trips, and I think that is something that Habib, I'm not saying like this has nothing to do with Mamedov, but I just think that collective culture in that Sambo style, in the Dagestani Russian style, I do think that they prefer the single legs over the doubles a little bit more. You just see it more often. All right, AJ, before we give our picks on this one, the common denominator, for Benson Henderson in his last three losses is he's fought three people who are really good wrestlers: Michael Chandler, Jason Jackson, Brent Primus, whatever the case may be. Islam Mamedov in his last fight won a split decision against Brent Primus. Benson Henderson lost his last fight against Brent Primus. Unanimous decision loss for Henderson. Split decision win for Mamedov. Notable wins, that's basically it for Mamedov. You have other really good names, but a lot of PFL fights and all that good stuff. For Benson Henderson, we know all the classic wins that he has, but as of late, Sadawad, Patricio Pitbull, and Jorge Masvidal. Those were the big wins as of late for Benson Henderson. Clearly, striker versus grappler, wrestler. Even though we know Benson Henderson is a great grappler himself, I just think that this is not the fight that you want to be grappling in. Who wins the fight, brother? Does the smooth get it done? The OG Benson Henderson, once a champ, future champ, the philosophy? Or is Dagestan taking over, brother, and Mamedov is looking to make it 20 wins in a row? What do you think?
Whew, man, I'm rolling Team Russia on this one, my man. It's a hard one to fight. This is a very, very tough fight for Smooth Benson Henderson on this one. And man, like I said, Will has he been working the ground game enough to not be grabbed, kind of keep away from it, fight that style? It's a very uphill battle to go. So that's why I'm going Mamedov, and I'm going by decision, man. I think it's going to be a 3-round drag out where Mamedov is just on top, controlling the entire time. If he doesn't get smooth out, it's just because he's good enough on the jiu-jitsu to be able to escape a little bit. But Mamedov is just going to have that pressure-heavy style, that smash that we love seeing, especially with Habib in his corner. It's going to be a very uphill battle for Benson Henderson. So that's why I'm taking Mamedov, and I'm going with the over. I'm going by decision. It's just going to be the smash game we've been seeing for a long time. Mother Russia is here. They're taking over. You can see I got the little, where is it? Right there. Little Russian doll right behind me. So I'm rolling with Team Russia. Now you're good, brother. It's just a little, just because Russia's here, man. Russia's here to stay. and that's why I'm rocking with them. I think it's going to be a very fun fight.
Yeah, no, absolutely, brother. I mean, I'm in the same boat. I think Islam Mamedov gets the job done. Decision win as well. The over is 2.5 rounds, so I'm going over on that one. And I mean, listen, man, the over, let me see on this one. It says it plus 200 for over 2.5 rounds. So I think they're thinking that it's going to be an early finish, which is interesting. But I'm rocking with you as well. We'll rock the over. Islam Mamedov gets the job done via decision if Benson Henderson could stick around. But like I said, man, this is just one of those tough things where the stylistically, I mean, this just favors Mamedov. But we could be wrong. I mean, when we saw Rafion Stotts versus Mamedov and Rafion Stotts put it on him, I mean, everyone was surprised. Not too many people. Rafion Stotts wasn't surprised, I'll tell you that much.